Do you want to learn how to write a blog that people are actually excited to read through it? If that's you, you landed in the right video because today in this video, a six-figure content writer will walk you step by step. And I coach freelance writers and help them to find clients. And this is our special guest today, and she's going to talk about research. She's going to help you with research. And
awesome. Well, hi everyone. I am super grateful to 𝗖𝗂𝗿𝗿𝗆 for inviting me, first of all. And I would also like to say it wasn't that long ago that I was a newbie freelance writer as well. I'm currently almost 3 full years into my journey, which is super exciting. And to look back and think, I started writing on a little tablet with a little Bluetooth keyboard, and now I have, my own home office. So it's like been a really big journey. And I also own an LLC now. So basically, long story short, I'm all in, and it's been wonderful. And I hope that, something great happens for you all as well. It's been 3 years since I started. The end of this year will be 3 years since I got my very first client on Fiverr. I no longer work through Fiverr anymore, but it was great for getting my business off of the ground. I have been in professional writing for about 5 or 6 years. So I was familiar with the industry before I did jump in. And that does make a difference, but you don't necessarily have to be coming from professional writing or journalism in order to succeed. There's so much to write about. So I'm excited to talk about some things that I hope will improve that writing and make you more valuable to clients.
Yes.
So I try to stay pretty high level because we're not getting into like technical SEO, which is more, in the back end of things. This is really what writers can do on the front end. So I'm going to share my screen here because I do have a little PowerPoint, and I think that will make it easier for you to follow along. So, all right. And it looks like it's sharing. So I'll start with talking a little bit more about what I do, just so you know where I'm coming from and my expertise. I focus on content writing, journalistic style content writing, and straight up journalism. So in addition to writing for company blogs and occasionally through agencies for content writing, I do also write for local publications, journalism content. And that's kind of where the storytelling aspect comes in. Journalism is really about telling a story, and content writing is too. It's not just, telling the facts, but painting a picture. So even if you don't come from a journalism background, I would say it's great to research that kind of writing and brush up on your storytelling. The specific industries that I write about are finance and investing, the environment, digital marketing, and like I said, local news and magazine writing. And just a little celebration so that way you know what's possible. I did surpass the 6-figure mark so far in 2021, which is super exciting.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you. I think more importantly for me, I'm preparing to take a month-long break. I've been working pretty hard this year, and I think that was my real goal. I didn't even make a 6-figure goal for the year. I just wanted to take a month off at the end of the year. So that'll be coming up soon. And I think it's really important to balance as an entrepreneur and a self-employed person, balance that kind of. Part of being a great SEO blog writer is writing well and writing quickly. So I think something that I'm good at is writing quickly. And that has definitely helped me just have a little bit more breathing room in my day, as far as work-life balance goes. Not necessarily as clients, but more importantly, it helps me keep my sanity.
Yeah, for sure.
So now I'm going to get into more of the storytelling side of things. Like I said, I come from a journalism background. I'm also an avid reader. I think a lot of writers are. And I think that that's definitely a trait you want to hold on to as you continue your writing journey, because as a professor once told me, great writers are great readers. And the more you read, the better you're going to write.
Yeah,
that's true. Why, I think even if you don't have a journalism background, read journalism. Find, reputable news or investigative journalism sites and kind of see what's going on. You can even read things like, heck, even Teen Vogue is writing scathing exposés nowadays. So there's really endless types of journalism that you can read and just get a sense of what good storytelling is.
I think also sometimes we don't have any background in a certain industry, but we always read so much about that topic that we can speak and write with authority within that topic because you read so much about it.
Exactly.
And I think that's one area where you can think of investing as a writer is like one of your passions. If you like, let's say if you read a lot about nutrition, I used to read about nutrition and food, all the vitamins that a fruit has for me, and I can confidently write more about it because I've read so much about it, and I was interested in losing weight, and so for me it's beneficial. So if you are the same, if you like to read about a certain topic, maybe you are starting, maybe you should think about that, and you don't know what niche you should serve, you should think about what you like to read as well. It's a good idea. If it's profitable, of course, you need to think of that as well.
Which is why you see me writing about both finance and the environment, because I love the environment, but that's not really where most of my money comes from. Ideally, I really would like to write about, environmental investing, which is a huge growing industry, but, it takes a while to become an expert on anything. So it's good to have those goals, but a lot of people say, niche down. They tell you to choose a niche because you'll make more money. And that can be true. But I think niching down, like you said, really helps you keep your finger on the pulse of the industry that you are writing about.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, when you're reading, you want to read different styles of writing. So long form, short form, figure out what is most captivating to you. And then when clients come to you and say, what do you think? What should I do? You actually have an opinion and what works. I would also say, if you're busy writing or building your business, there's always podcasts, audiobooks, ebooks. You don't actually have to read physical books if you don't want. There's just so many options nowadays.
I only like physical books. I
also love physical books. Yeah, I'm never going to be a Kindle person, I tell you. But I also walk my dogs a lot, and podcasts are a huge part of my life. So
yeah, me too.
And through that research of yours and enjoyment of reading as well, you'll get a grasp of good writing, good grammar. You don't necessarily need to have 100% perfect grammar. That article I just showed you that was ranked on Google's top page actually had a spelling error in the intro, but nobody noticed. So unless you did, and I think that's great you noticed, but it still made it onto Google. It's not going to be the end of the world. But the reality is that, good grammar actually does help guide people through your writing better and more effectively. So, and Franciella, you kind of brought up that industry knowledge that I was going to talk about. Use your industry knowledge in your writing. Use your personal knowledge in your writing. Don't be afraid to use anecdotes that you think people might understand. And as far as those intros, I think intros are so important, because how many times have you opened an article, thought the intro was just like the you couldn't get past the first sentence and you just closed it. I mean, it happens all the time to me. And that's why I think keeping your intros preferably brief, definitely relevant. And I mean relevant as in like, know who you're writing to, know your audience. How old are they? What are their interests? Where do they live? What are their hobbies? So you want to make sure you're writing something that's relevant to whoever you're writing to. And try to be clever. That doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be funny per se, but just show that you have some wit as a writer and some personality. I also have a couple of examples. I made this yesterday. These are just a couple of pieces that I encountered that I think have nice intros. So I'll click this one here. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is an article that I read yesterday. I don't know if anyone encountered it. It's a little frightening. But the best part about this piece was the intro. So this is just like a title and a subheading here. But you go down to the first, and let's talk about this hilarious GIF, whatever. And then you go to this first sentence. The most dangerous thing in space right now isn't aliens or Cowboy Bezos. It's more than 1,500 pieces of trash from a recently obliterated Russian satellite. I read that and I immediately wanted to know what they were talking about. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty clever intro.
Yeah.
Just tying in the whole Bezos thing, because this is like business and finance readers. We all know that Jeff Bezos went to space. So another example I have here is something I wrote yesterday. If you've heard of Casper Sleep, they were a public company. They are no longer a public company for much longer. So my first sentence was, as Casper Sleep customers the world over snooze on their beloved mattresses, the company behind the slumber is shutting the lights on its public stock. And then I kind of go into, what's going on. Why are they going private? They just had their IPO, and see all these subheadings here. I also embedded some tweets, which I think is sometimes a good thing to get the conversation going. So those are just a couple examples of brief, relevant, and mildly clever intros. You're not always going to write a fantastic intro, but I really think it's worth trying. And then I go to some resources. The first one that I think is super helpful for newbie writers is something called HubSpot Academy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I learned so much. Yeah.
It's all free classes. I mean, literally, it doesn't cost a dime. You can search their library.
They have paid course though, because I've seen it. I was like, why they give so much free courses? Does they have any paid courses that they can upsell people?
They have software that they make money off of, I believe.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think that they really try to use this as a value proposition for their software, if I'm not mistaken.
There are SEO courses there, and even email copywriting courses, guys. If whatever you want to specialize and provide to your client, go there because it's helpful. I've seen it and I've learned from it too.
Yeah, there's really all kinds, not just SEO content writing, but you can see here they have a certification course for learning all things SEO, including web optimization, link building, keyword research, all that jazz. This is a full certificate, so it probably takes a little bit longer, maybe like 8 or so hours. But there is courses that you can take in a couple of hours time. So I think my back button doesn't want to work. Oh, there we go. So yeah, basically I would say just take the time to browse. There's a content marketing certification course, email marketing, all kinds of stuff. It's just really great, in my opinion. I've taken a few of them. Probably going to take another one this winter when I'm not working. So,
sure. I do have questions about the audience. So let me pull them up here. One, I didn't quite understand his question from I forgot his name here. But his question is, any programs needed to implement SEO in my writing? So I guess you showed all the tools. I guess that's what he meant.
So there are some tools that you can actually have like review your content and tell you exactly like, is your keyword density high enough? Once you start doing it enough, it kind of becomes like second nature, I think. But you can use tools like, if, for example, if you have WordPress and are writing on WordPress, there's a plugin called Yoast. That is Yoast. And that kind of helps you identify where a keyword should go. There's also something called SEMrush, SEMrush, SEMrush. I'm not super sure about all the pricing for like, I know if you're an enterprise company using SEMrush, it's going to cost you like a couple $100. But if you're just an individual, I'm not super sure. Like, I think there are some free tools and then like some stuff you might have to pay for. And then also, I guess I realized I forgot to put this into the presentation, but grammar tools like Hemingway and Hemingway is really helpful. It tells you what grade level you're writing at. Honestly, most content marketing writing is like a middle school grade level reading comprehension, which is good because you don't want to confuse people. So.
Yeah. So the other question that I got here is from Roxanne, which free keyword research tool do you consider to be the best?
So I think Google Ads is probably the best, just because you can endlessly search all day long and it never costs you any money. You can also search different variations of keywords and then look to the Google SERP to see how it's performing in real time. And find out where those entries are. So I think Google Ads is definitely a great place to start.
Okay. Well, this was so great. Thank you so much. And guys, do you have any questions? So type your questions right now. So speak now or hold on to your piece until we have comments. So type in now. And before we end this, please comment #live if you watch this live, #replay if you watch that on replay. And I just want to mention, I have 4 more spots left if you need assistance in, landing clients, know how to get into a sales call or closing a client on a DM. If that's something you are struggling, I'm taking 3 more people or 4 more people, and we can chat about more if you're the right fit to work together with me. But if not, let me see here if people type in any more questions. I don't see any more questions, but I promise that it will come up because a lot of people will watch on replay this.
For sure. Yeah. You can always comment on the recording and just tag me or something and say, hey, you're also more than welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. I try to have a pretty big LinkedIn presence, and it has come in handy. I've gotten a few inbound leads, which means people find me on LinkedIn, ask to work together, and then it's pretty much no effort on my end. So I would definitely recommend getting on LinkedIn.
Yes, connect with Rachel, guys. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rachel. This was awesome. I loved it. And thank you so much for giving value. So we'll look forward to the questions afterwards because a lot of people say they want to watch the recording. And if you need anything, I'm here. And you are such a great addition to the community. And I hope that we can connect soon.
Of course. It was so awesome to get on here and talk. And even for myself, kind of, look back and think all the stuff I've learned. Like, you are going to learn so much as a content writer, more than you ever would working as an employee at a company. Being a freelancer really kind of puts you on the fast track to becoming an expert in something. So
yes,
I'm excited for you all.
Yes. Have a great day, everybody, and type your questions and #live and #replay. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.